Alright, so in my last video I had a little rant about the QTE nature of the game and the player agency being taken away from you. Since then, some of you have said, hey, you can actually turn off the QTE prompts in the game. Apparently the options are kind of weird because actually you turn on an auto execute function. So shout out to those of you who pointed that out to me. That kind of got me frustrated because I've been playing the game and like 30 minutes I'm in, cutscenes and follow me here, and then 30 minutes I'm fighting. I'm enjoying the game. So I just want to continue and continue to play the game and enjoy the systems and the mechanics. And a lot of the story beats and all that, they don't really really concern me, to be honest. I skip as many as I can, but some you can't. You got to follow Harry here, you got to follow Mary Jane here, you got to follow Miles here. So all those different parts just all got to me. Now, there is another part too that I made a video about, a potential bug or mechanic, which I thought was a mechanic in the game. Apparently it's a bug. So also shout out to those of you who said that that is actually a bug and it's not a feature, because the physics in the water is supposed to catch you. And somebody pointed it out to me and said, hey, if you go watch this YouTube video, you're going to see that this is a thing. So what I did was I went ahead and I played that particular mission again, and I jumped in the water on purpose, and I found that I was floating. So apparently it's a bug that has actually occurred, to different people. I've seen it on Twitter, and I didn't even think it was going to happen in my case because I've been going all stellar, and that's the only bug that I've found since the game actually started. So one thing everyone's got to know, and we need to kind of understand, is Marvel Spider-Man 2 is not going to be adored by everyone. I'm not a Spider-Man fan, so my criticisms and my preferences are going to come out in my videos. If that's something that you may not be comfortable with, I can understand, but at the end of the day, you really have to learn how to deal with it. You can push back, that's fine. The comment section, feel free. Because I remember when people were actually dogging on Gotham Knights, I pushed back too. In fact, I was probably the only one standing here in the whole internet pushing back. So I understand that I'm going to get that pushback as well. But you got to understand that there will be a larger amount of people that are going to be pushing against the things that I say. But you have to understand I'm still going to be as fair as I possibly can to the game. So just feel free to just, understand that, hey, we're not all Spider-Man fans here. And so you're probably going to hear things that may not necessarily tickle your ears. Because if you kind of think about how some have addressed this, and, I love to talk about this stuff. Some people have said, well, you seem to be nitpicking, the Spider-Man game, when in reality, in Gotham Knights' case, when people nitpick the game, you said they were nitpicking. Hold on. Let's go ahead and let's kind of categorize that, particular confrontation, because I remember there was nitpicking. Yes, nitpicking is fine. Let them nitpick, let me nitpick. But there were those who lied about Gotham Knights' combat. That was the one where I made multiple videos. The Laughing Z. You are here on this comment section, and you were here on this comment section this morning correcting me about the QTEs and correcting me about the bugs. You were there when I made those videos. You said to make those videos, and I told you you're going to have to be here in the comment section backing me up on this. I'm going to pin your comment, and everybody know he's the one that holds me accountable on this channel. He makes sure that I stay in line because he knows me. I can go crazy from time to time. And he remembers that at that time, people were basically lying about the game. In my case, I've even seen Spider-Man. I've seen Marvel Spider-Man and how people have actually taken this approach of, oh, the game's got these bugs and all that. And I'm like, well, hold up. Every game has got its glitches and every game has got its bugs. And I want to be able to come to those shortcomings from a fair perspective. However, there are just some things that are in-game that are preferential to me that you're going to hear me, either talk about, I'm going to praise them, or if I don't see them being implemented well, I'm going to go ahead and criticize them. It's not going to stop. So, like I said, if you're not really used to, something that you love getting criticized, I recommend that you might not necessarily need to be in the room. Not a baby anymore, kind of grown. So my opinions are going to be really strong. They're formed. So get ready. I mean, Marvel Spider-Man is a good game. Don't get me wrong. You're going to hear me sing the game's praises, but you're also going to hear me talk about things that I feel like the game and in future titles could work on. So these are a few things that I wanted to point out at the beginning of this video. Now, regarding my progress so far, like, how I'm engaging with the game, I'm playing the game on the highest difficulty, the spectacular difficulty. And it's one of those things where, the game kind of tricks you into thinking it's very simple, but then the enemy NPCs, they pull some fast ones on you and then they take you out, which I really do appreciate that the difficulty does have that gruesomeness. And I think for those who have played the game and have been able to beat the game, say, in like 8-9 hours, I think they never necessarily engage that combat mechanic to that perspective. Maybe there might be some people who have higher skill who are able to do it. I probably do understand, but I also see where there may have been some rushing of the game to be able to get that story mode beaten. And I think that's probably not fair, to the way the game has been categorized. I played Miles Morales. I thought it was short, but I enjoyed it. I liked the fact that it was short because I could quickly beat it and move on. Because mostly a lot of these Sony games, and, hear me out, they don't really appeal to me when it comes to their stories and all of these different things that they do, like cutscenes and follow this guy here, go look at this picture so that we can remember something that I don't care about. Really, that's just me. If I really need a good immersive story, I go touch grass, and then later in the evening, I watch a movie about a good story. That's kind of how I see it. So in a video game, I want to really engage the mechanics. However, if you do engage the mechanics in Marvel Spider-Man, you will get more than that gameplay time that a lot of these people have basically been able to glean out of it and say, oh, the game is so short, and all of that stuff. I don't agree with their perspective. And this is coming from somebody who's been skipping. I've been skipping cutscenes and skipping cinematics like crazy. I don't want to know, in a sense. But even I'm saying that, if y'all think the game is really short, then maybe you basically just went ahead and just, pinky slapped all the enemies and then they disappeared. But are you doing side missions? Are you trying to level up your Spider-Man, both Spider-Man? Are you trying to get your skills, intact? Are you trying to, get new skins? I'm not even talking about the random side missions that may be there, but, the other things that will kind of make a robust experience. Because if you are, I don't necessarily think that the game is too short. I think, the game is a decent length. However, there is the price point that a lot of people have talked about. They've said, why is the price $70? And I think that's an arbitrary question. You have to decide for a video game what you think the game is worth to you overall. I don't necessarily know how to actually deal with that, for you, because everyone has got a different, access, or has different access to resources and they have the discretion to use their resources how they please. So is it one of those things where you can say, okay, do you want to put, this amount of money here? That will all be based on your circumstance. Some people have been saving to buy the game. So in their case, they just go ahead and take the money that they've saved and they purchase the game. That's a good thing. But if someone has to contemplate and say $70 the price point for me, then I think, you'll probably still need to continue to contemplate, maybe look around. Some people may beat it. I've started to see it on used websites. And they could, maybe give you a deal with a few dollars off here and there. You could shave a few dollars off and you can be fortunate to get a copy of it for less than the $70 price tag. That will probably work for you. So these are just a few things that, you have to kind of measure back and forth. But, however, the experience is actually pretty good. I think this game is a 9 out of 10. And I've been skipping a bunch of the story stuff because I'm into the mechanics more than anything else. The story, maybe we'll leave it for somebody else to judge fairly. I'm not the most reliable person to, talk about the story of a video game anymore. I think I just kind of got disenfranchised after a few games that I played in the last few years about stories. I'm just more about game mechanics. And then also the fact that I've been working on and learning game development just wants me to dive into mechanics in any video game I handle. So it's always kind of weird with me. So this is just the kind of gamer that I am, I guess, in today's day and age. But I wanted to go ahead and talk about progression so far, and even for, addressing those who may have come up with a concern saying that the game is, too short and it's 11 hours and it's $70 and all that. I get it. You're talking to somebody who's played Tom Clancy The Division for thousands of hours over the course of 6 years. So, I mean, if you want to do that kind of a value proposition, it's not fair by any means, because at the end of the day, what you have to consider is a game or games like these that are made to be short experiences are very different from games that are made to be long experiences with different things tacked onto them. They're just very different games, in a sense. So I'll leave it there. I'll come back to this particular aspect of the conversation. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Thanks so much for watching. Peace out.